There is one crypto narrative that is seeing a massive amount of attention right now. Crypto moves fast, narratives do too, but you do need to pay attention to this one because not only are crypto investors investing in it, we have TradFi investing billions of dollars. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and let's talk about this one narrative you need to put on your watch list. We are just at the beginning of Q4 and crypto is continuing to grow. Every other day we have a new all-time high on the crypto total market cap. We're currently sitting around $4.1 trillion in total crypto market cap, and that is likely going to continue increasing as Bitcoin and altcoins continue pushing in Q4. Now, the narrative I want to be talking about today is one of the biggest news that we've seen over the last few weeks. This news is coming from Polymarket itself. Polymarket, for those of you who don't know, is one of the biggest predictions markets where basically people can try and predict the outcome of certain different things to essentially try and make money. Now, the recent news that's been announced over the last few days is that Polymarket has received a $2 billion strategic investment from ICE, which is Intercontinental Exchange. This is the parent company to the New York Stock Exchange. This is basically the people who run the show. They have made a $2 billion strategic investment in Polymarket at a $9 billion post-money valuation. Now, that is a crazy amount of money being poured into Polymarkets. Together, they're building the next evolution of markets. And this is going to be something to keep an eye out because it's going to open the floodgates to prediction markets, in my opinion. Now, Polymarket has seen a crazy amount of volumes over the last weeks, months, and we are likely going to see even more volume as we continue seeing the evolution of Polymarkets. But it's not only just this platform. Even though it is one of the bigger ones, we have many others seeing a variety of inflows. If we take a look at Kalshi, which is another platform in the prediction space, not necessarily affiliate to crypto, even though you can bet or, try and predict the outcome of different cryptocurrencies, we have them here being very active on Twitter. But not only very active on Twitter, they are starting to even hire out people on Twitter, very influential people to, of course, try and gain some mindshare that way. So we're seeing a lot of adoption here. And if we take a look at one of the recent launches in crypto regarding prediction markets, you're going to be absolutely astonished by this. If you don't know already, we have Limitless. This is not even a token that's out yet. It's coming out relatively soon. But Limitless was planning to raise $1 million in their prediction market pre-TGE. They wanted to raise $1 million. That was their goal. And over the few days that this was open for people to invest and pledge their money to, they actually raised $200 million. This is 200 times oversubscribed than what they planned on raising. So you can just see the amount of people and the amount of money that wants to get involved in this narrative. Now, as we know, Limitless is one of the ones that has been highly talked about on Twitter, on social media. So there is a lot of attention to it. It is in a partnership with Cato. That's how they basically went ahead and raised that money. But in terms of activity, in terms of how much money are they actually seeing through their platform, because it is live, even though the token isn't live, well, they are seeing on average over 5 million daily volume for the last 5 days. This was posted over the last 24 hours. You can obviously track this on Dune Analytics, but again, it goes to show that there is a lot of volume coming into these prediction markets. And it's not only Polymarket getting a $2 billion investment at a $9 billion post-money valuation, not only Kalshi seeing an absurd amount of volume and users, not only one of the crypto projects raising 200 times more than what they planned on raising, seeing over $5 million per day in volume on their platform. I think we can all agree that there is a lot of money in prediction markets right now, which begs the question, where can we look next to try and find prediction market coins or projects that haven't launched yet, that are going to launch coins, or coins that are already out there? Which ones should you be looking at? And I do have a few to share with you. Now, before we do, if you are interested in prediction markets, let me know down in the comment section below. And as you're down there, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you guys for the continued support. And if you want to see what I'm doing in the crypto space, we do have the premium Discord. It's the first link in the description below. In there, you're going to get all of this access beforehand. You're also going to have all the research that I do, the buys and sell that I make, and so much more in that Discord. So if you're interested in that, have a look at the first link in the description below. But now I'm going to show you guys a few coins that I'm looking at in the prediction markets, as well as how to find new coins. Because if you have some spare time, you could absolutely utilize it to stay ahead of the game. And I do think that is crucial in crypto, to stay ahead of everyone else. So the first thing you're going to want to do is head over to DeFi Llama. And here you're going to be able to search for prediction market protocols. They're not going to have every single prediction markets, but it is a good start to start looking and doing your own research. The one thing I want to point out here is if we look at the TVL, it's definitely gone up. If we look at 2024, it was at 30 million. And right now we are well above 200 million with, crazy spikes here and there. But ultimately speaking, we are in that phase where we are starting to see growth in this sector. Now, on DeFi Llama, you're going to be able to see, like I said, some of the projects, not all of them, but it is going to give you a very good starting point. And you can see the total value locked across different projects. You can see how these projects fare in fees, in revenue, and so on and so forth. So one of the things I do like to do is I like to toggle by fees or revenue. And here it's going to let you know which protocol, let's say over the last 24 hours, over the last 7 days or month, that has done the most in terms of fees. And typically speaking, if a project is doing a lot of fees, well, it basically means that there's a lot of volume coming through it. But obviously there's a caveat here. You have to be understanding that DeFi Llama may not have purely accurate stats. So it is important to do your own due diligence and go into the project and really understand whether or not these fees are accurate or it's just, completely off. But as we can see, if we go back to the TVL ranking, we have, of course, Polymarket, which doesn't have a token, may have a token in the future. Then in second, you have a Double Up, which has about 10 million in a TVL. No idea what this project is. Football.fun rings a bell. It was very, popular a few weeks ago. When it initially launched, they have about 5 million. You have Overtime with about 2 million, and so on and so forth. And you have a bunch of projects here that, don't have a whole lot of information. And this allows you to do your research and understand what these projects are before they really hit the market and before people start talking about them. So, of course, it's going to take a little bit of time on your hand to go and do that analysis, especially with all the stats we've just seen it pour into the predictions market. Now, I do want to go over a few of them. First and foremost, we have Overtime. This is kind of your on-chain sports book. So if you are into sports betting, and again, I don't condone any type of gambling or whatever the case may be. Just know that you shouldn't be using money that you can't afford to lose. That is the best advice I can give you. That goes for, prediction markets. It goes for crypto. It goes for any type of investment. But if we just take a look at, the on-chain statistics of Overtime, what are they doing? Is there volume in this protocol? Are there people using it? And that is, to me, probably the best thing you want to be looking at when you're doing your research, is whether or not people are using the product. If there is a project out there that's, perfect to your eyes, but there's 3 people using it with $100 of daily volume, it's probably not the project to go into. But Overtime is seeing some nice appreciation over the last few months. We are definitely seeing an uptrend in volume, and this is obviously a good sign to see for a project. And then if you go on to to their website, they do have statistics about their token and about their volume. So you can cross-reference this. We can see that they actually do burn a portion of their tokens with the revenue that they get in terms of protocol fees ever since this platform has been live. It's about $1.6 million, and total protocol volume, we have around $392 million. So that is, over time. Then what I would suggest doing is very simple. Go on to, CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and go look at that token. This one has a token. So, of course, why not go look at it? So if we go on to Overtime Finance on CoinGecko, and if we go and let's say type in over, you're going to be able to see what that chart has been looking like over the last few days, weeks, and months. And it's going to give you an idea of what are we currently seeing for overtime. So if you look at it, well, we do see that over the last 3 months, it's up 80%. If you look at it over the last month, it's up 30%. And over the last week, it's kind of been just chopping around. Let's see the last 24 hours. It is slightly down over the last 24 hours. Now, a big caveat to all of these projects, you have to be extremely careful because an $18 million market cap project is very small. There's a lot of upside to it if it does well, but there's also a whole lot of risk. So I don't want you guys to think that just because it's ranking second on DeFi Llama in terms of TVL, that this is, a no-brainer and that it's automatically going to go up. But obviously, at an $18 million market cap, you do have upside potential. If you just look at it since, the month of August, back here, it was at 10 million and it's basically gone up 2x in the span of about 2 months. So again, not a bad project, but definitely do more research in that sense. Now, another project I wanted to talk about is mainly in prediction markets, but also utilizing AI. And they do have different vaults, and the vaults are essentially a way to invest in them and then let the AI agent essentially build out your predictions. And as the AI agent uses the money in the vault, it makes predictions based on its statistics. And if we take a look at that project, it's actually called Sire. It's Sire Agent. It was previously deking, very similar to DraftKings, but ultimately speaking, if you look at what this AI agent / prediction markets has been able to do, this project, so they've now made over 2,000 trades based on the data from their AI agent and utilizing the vault that they had. They had $10,000 initially, and after those 2,000 trades, they now have 23,000 or an ROI of 137%. And if you take a look at, their tracker, they track everything here, and then we can see the different sports that it's betting on. So here we have the stats regarding baseball, you have the stats regarding tennis, basketball, football, so on and so forth. So a very interesting, mix of prediction markets as well as AI agents and AI predictions, because again, this is all made within a vault and they're essentially going to be using some of those proceeds to buy back and burn their token. Now their token is sitting relatively low. Again, not going to make any financial recommendations here. None of this is financial recommendation. Crypto is risky, and like I said, you shouldn't invest money that you can't afford to lose. But looking at this project, it's sitting at $15 million worth of market cap, just roughly. Its all-time high is around 25 million, and right now it kind of is in a range where there might be some more consolidation before a next move up. But this is one of the ones that's on base that I would put on my watch list, just to have it on your watch list, because as I said, it is combining AI and prediction markets all together. Now, if we take a look at another project on base that I do like as well, this one here, we've been talking about it in our premium Discord ever since it basically launched. If we take a look at this one, this is Pretty Bot, and we were, I do believe, talking about it right around this $2 million range. It's now right around $5 million, and its all-time high is just shy of 10 million. But this one here is another prediction markets that you can use on the base blockchain. And this is, another very similar platform to these other platforms. Creators can come in and actually make their own prediction markets. They get a fee for doing so as people start trading, and as there's volume on their prediction markets, the creator actually does get incentivized for creating the markets, and that is, the flywheel effect of predict base. Now, if we take a look at the volume over the last, few months, we have seen some spikes in volume, which is good. Right now, it's averaging on a day-to-day basis about $20,000 of volume. Definitely a much smaller project than the other ones. But ultimately speaking, at a $5 million market cap, anything can basically happen. But obviously your risk is a lot more on a project like this than going into a more established project. You can see that in total, there's about 1.1 million volume, and the total creator revenue. So as I said, as people create markets on here, there's been a payout of roughly $11,000. So again, much more on the smaller side of things. But if you are into smaller cap projects, maybe have this one on your watch list as well. Now, I just wanted to show you guys another way to look at projects as they come about, because there is a website that I use pretty much on a day-to-day basis. This is called CryptoRank. If you go onto CryptoRank, you can go onto the fundraising tab, click fundraising rounds, and then what you can do is, depending on the narrative you're looking at, whether it's, prediction markets or any other narrative, you can actually go on to your, filter tab. So once you're on the filters, you can actually go and search for the narrative you want to see. So even if it's not, related to prediction markets, it could be AI, it could be privacy, it could be any other type of narrative. But for this video, of course, we're looking at prediction markets, and as you can see, I've selected prediction markets here. So what this is going to give you is a list of projects that are in the prediction markets, and it's going to show you who's backing that project, how much money have they raised, and what valuation have they raised it at. So we can see we have a Polymarket with ICE with that $2 billion raise, but then you have a bunch of other projects that you can go into and do your own research about, because here we have most of the information we need to, and of course you can go on to the project's Twitter, website, and so on and so forth. You have a Limitless here that is backed by Coinbase Ventures, has raised 200 million when they wanted to raise 1 million. You have Kalshi, and one of the ones that actually stood out to me was Opinion Labs. They don't have a token just yet, but the reason it stood out to me is because it's backed by YZ Labs, which is previously Binance Labs. And as we all know right now, well, it's Binance season, it's BNB season, and everything BNB is going through the roof. Not only that, YZ Lab has also announced that they have a $1 billion fund to help projects in the BNB ecosystem, and that's going to be given out to a wide variety of projects over the next few months. So of course, there is a little bit more incentive to build on BNB. And if we look at Opinion Labs, which again has no token, we can see that this is a project in the prediction markets. It says predict anything, backed by YZ Labs, and they are actually running some sort of campaign that recently just started to get social points in, probably for an airdrop when they do launch that token. So a very interesting way to get involved in a new projects. Again, the list that we just saw on, CryptoRank is a very extensive list. There are so many projects that you can go and do your own due diligence on. And that is one of the ways that you can find projects before they launch, start interacting with them, potentially earn an airdrop, and potentially be even early when that token does launch. So of course, you have to do and take a little bit of time to do your research and understand these projects. But with the amount of money that's coming into prediction markets, I do think that some of these projects are going to bode well. Of course, none of this is financial advice. If you have any other prediction market, projects that you want me to look into, let me know down in the comment section below. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out that premium Discord, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.